Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then my second pressure point game of round one takes us to the final game of the first round. Saturday night, the nightcapper at the Horseshoe of Columbus, Ohio. December 21st, 8 p.m. ABC ESPN. The Tennessee Volunteers from the Southeastern Conference travel to the Horseshoe to take on the 8th seed Buckeyes of Ohio State. If you notice, that I said I had two pressure point games, and if you also notice, they feature two Big Ten teams.
Hmm.
Now,
I wonder
is
why
it the
you
same
featuring this
reason?
one.
Is it the same reason, Playmaker, or why you said the same thing about Penn State? Yes, it is. Because on Ryan Day's behind, Ryan Day's on more of a hot seat than James Franklin, in my opinion.
Well, I think Ryan Day will be fine. Now, if if Tennessee decided to chuck their orange and white and he decided to put on the maize and blue, then that hot seat will be hot.
No, that hot
And
seat is
and
already
and,
hot.
and forget the T, put the M on the helmet.
No, that hot seat is already hot. There have been some rumblings, Mr. Cole Johnson, that a former Buckeye is in line to get that job.
Who? Eddie George?
No, Mike Vrabel. There's some rumblings about Mike Vrabel heading to old Buckeye Nation. There's some
Okay.
rumblings.
Okay.
Notice I said rumblings. I didn't say news. I said rumblings.
I know that
There's a
that's what I'm
no.
like.
There's a
That's what
difference.
that's why Ryan Day will be on the sideline 2025, and he'll get his butt kicked in when they go to Ann Arbor.
Now this brings
And
me to
yes, I'm
point.
saying this 11 and a half months from the game. Yes,
Let's break
Ohio
this
State
down.
gonna get whooped by Michigan and Ann Arbor. I'm sorry, my bad.
The
Whoops.
Finns it's been recorded. It's been said on numerous programs. The fans have turned on Ryan Day. They have
Duh.
been they have been turned off by Ryan Day. And why? Because you lost to a woeful, and I do mean woeful, Michigan team in the horseshoe.
I thought they turned on him the last time Michigan beat them in Columbus.
No, Michigan won a national championship, so that kind of softened the burden. They won a national championship.
That don't matter. Ohio State was considered a national championship contender that year.
There was, but you have to realize Michigan won a national championship. Nothing you can do about it. Then you come into this year, you have the highest paid roster in college football, 20 million.
Not highest paid roster. Who? When did we think we would ever say that about a college football team?
Exactly, $20 million of NIL on this roster. You had a big game against Oregon. You lost by one for stupid reasons, but hey, we will get past that. Stupid
Hey,
stuff happens at
but but
times.
but I love that quarterback scramble. That was beautiful. That was genius.
Speaking of the stupid reason, all right, you had another big game. You had to go to Penn State. You shut them out the end zone from the 1 yard line
Mm.
4 times.
Great goal line stand. Yeah.
And then you proceeded to run the rest of the clock out by running the ball down their throats in front of their own people, as we talked about
Actually,
earlier when we talked about Penn State.
you would actually think that Ryan Day actually possessed a brain.
Ran the ball down their throat and ran the rest of the clock out. Penn State didn't even see the ball. And we talking about there was still almost half the quarter left. That's how bad that was. And that's why James Franklin got what he got that the week after. We had another big game at home against Indiana. We wanted to see how Indiana matches up to a team like Ohio State because they haven't played nobody because nobody thought Indiana would be where they were at this year.
And people were like, "Oh, this might be a new Ohio State."
You beat them by 23, as I mentioned earlier when we talked about Indiana and Notre Dame.
Oh, they're prepared for Michigan now. Yeah, they rolled Illinois. I mean, Indiana. They didn't look past Indiana. They actually took them seriously and beat them down.
And then Michigan comes in and they hold you down to 10 points.
And you look past them.
Rivalry week, and you knew Michigan had 3 games on you.
in a
And this
row.
Michigan team was terrible, horrific, horrendous.
Yes.
You know
All
they can
they could do
only
was
do
run the
one
ball.
thing.
All they could do was run the ball.
And guess what they did to you?
Run the ball.
To a 13-10 win.
All they could do is run the ball. That's the only thing they could do. They barely could stop the run. They barely could stop the pass. They barely could throw. All they could do was run. You knew this, and you still get whooped. But I got to give you credit, though, Ohio State. I got to give you credit, Mr. Day. You all showed more fight at the end of that game than you did the 60 minutes prior.
If this was another program, I would have some words for the Ohio legislature, but this is not that program, so I'm gonna say that to two other people to handle that for me.
SOFT. Soft. I'll
And
just
one of
say
the
that.
person and one of the person that's gonna hand that for me on his other program would be that man right there, Coach Johnson. Because
Hmm.
that's
That's soft. Straight up soft.
oh my gosh. If I had this was another program. Anyway, Ohio State, I'm gonna give you the same treatment that I gave James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now I'm looking at it. It's projected to be 28 degrees at kickoff time, and we talking prime time.
Here's the difference. Tennessee, it can get that cold. Versus Texas, it rarely can get that cold. You can get that cold in Tennessee.
But
Knoxville, it can get pretty cold. Now, am I
you're talking to a
saying
guy who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, right now.
right? Now, am I saying exactly? Now, am I saying because right now it's going to dip down actually to almost 27 for tomorrow morning. But am I saying that it gets as cold in Tennessee as it does in Ohio? No, but it gets that cold in Tennessee.
I hear that, but here's my point. Those people up north, what do they like to say? How one of them teams that play in the South come up here to this weather and see
Oh,
how it is?
that's fine.
Okay.
But you
You got a
can't say
team, you got a
yeah.
team from the Southeast Conference,
Hmm.
the conference that y'all like to rival against,
Hmm.
coming up to the horseshoe.
Hmm.
Let Tennessee beat you.
In fact, I believe they are. I have zero faith in Ohio State, and I'm not the biggest Tennessee fan. I don't have no faith in Ohio State.
This coming from a guy who don't even like anything Tennessee sports wise.
Not really, except for maybe the Predators, but that's besides the point. Uh, I like Tennessee to a point, but here's the messed up part. Ohio State has the talent to beat them.
No doubt.
They have the talent to beat Tennessee. The problem is Ryan Day.
I mean, Will Howard, 2,860 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Jerkins, that running back, over 800 yards rushing with 8 touchdowns. You got Smith, who's a stud as a freshman receiver, 10 receiving touchdowns in his freshman season. But y'all lost to Michigan because they ran the ball down your throat. Guess it's a team that loves to run the ball too.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee.
Well,
That
Tennessee
man
will love it.
Simpson, or Sampson.
Well, you know from personal experience.
That man's closing on 1,500 rushing yards. You know how many rushing touchdowns he has? 22. All I think Michigan do is run the football. Now you going against a team who can pass and run the football, and they are more deadly running the football. And Tennessee don't turn the ball up either.
Yeah, they take care of the ball. Yeah. You
Nico
gotta you gotta out,
Imariava only throwing 5 interceptions.
you gotta outright be more physical than they are to beat them. That's the only way you can beat Tennessee.
In 12 games. 12 games. Eli Mariava only threw 5 interceptions in 12 games. He played Alabama. He played Georgia. He played Florida. He played South Carolina. Played Kentucky. He's only thrown 5 interceptions. Played a surprising Vanderbilt team, by the way. Only threw 5 interceptions. It's all right day. Now, Cole Johnson says, you'll be back. My issue is this. You lost to Michigan. This is the fourth consecutive time you lost to Michigan. The fourth consecutive time you lost to Michigan, by the way. Which means they beat you twice in the horseshoe.
Yep. 2 consecutive times in the horseshoe. That's right, sir.
Which was never done under the Urban Meyer era.
Nope.
I don't recall how many times it was done under the Jim Tressel era, but it wasn't that much.
It was never done in Jim Tressel era.
Never done it twice in 4 years.
Yeah, Michigan never beat Ohio State twice. Ever, I don't think, in the horseshoe when Jim Tressel coached them, much less 2 times in a row.
If you couple this with a loss to a Southeastern Conference team, because everything Cole Johnson said is factually true, but people ain't gonna think about that. They're gonna look at it as that team is from the SEC. And all that trash talk we did about the SEC and they don't play in Northwestern and they came up here and beat Ohio State University in the horseshoe, you know the Big Ten gonna be pissed.
Not all Southeastern Conference teams reside from Florida or Texas or Louisiana even. Not all of them.
So I believe your 2 Big Ten teams that are representing you in the first round have head coaches whose jobs might be on the line this weekend.
See, there's a chance for you, James Franklin. You take an L to SMU, you still have your job. Ryan Day, you already have your job. You got Ohio State in the playoffs. Bump the 4th straight Michigan L you took. It's a good season.
You is that's the evil genius Coach Johnson right there, people. He wants to have another college football season where he can laugh at Ohio State.
Yes. Because they're stupid to keep this guy on the sideline because they're not responding to him. The tape players are not responding to him. And I'm not talking about Michigan. I'm talking about in general. They're not responding to him.
So this is it. And here's the more interesting part about this. The winner of this game, we'll be seeing Oregon in the Rose Bowl. The number 1 team in all of college football.
So Ohio State has motivation to beat this team. I don't think they will. They got motivation to beat them because they want to avenge one of the 2 losses that they took. Oh, that's right. You can't avenge the other L because Michigan ain't playing. Dummies.
And that Rose Bowl game would be, as per usual, New Year's Day, 5 p.m.